What's happening, people? I hope you're all well. So, two heavyweight fights that recently happened that I'm going to cover. The first one is David Adeleye. He beat Elvis Garcia in 2 rounds, and it was scheduled for 6, but he got a knockout in the second. And he knocked down his opponent multiple times and ended up getting the stoppage. To be honest with you, David Adeleye, he beat an opponent that, looking at this Elvis Garcia, if I get his box rec up, 9 wins, 4 defeats, 3 of those 4 defeats by KO. This is a guy really that Adeleye should be beaten. So he won, and that's a good result. However, looking at David Adeleye's last couple of opponents, Chris Healy, Dominic Muzel, Miladin Manev, I think that it's time now to step him up a little bit. Maybe look for the Kamil Sokolowski rematch, because I personally thought that David Adeleye lost that fight. So maybe try and get that rematch. And if he gets the rematch, because the thing about David Adeleye is he was looking like a good prospect. I'm not saying he's not a good prospect, but I'm saying the momentum was there. He was looking good. He's muscular, athletic. So he was looking quite good. One of the prospects that to look out for. And then he had that Kamil Sokolowski fight, and people started to go off him a bit. And that's understandable. I thought he lost. And it looks like the competition has gone down a little bit since then. But I think it's time to step it back up. You can't keep finding this level of competition. What's his record? 10-0. So it's not an awful resume to have at 10-0. But I think now it's time to maybe get that Kamil Sokolowski rematch. Get him in there with Kevin Johnson. Get him in there with that level of competition. Get him in there with Kajanu. Get him in there with that level of competition and see where he's at, because there is some potential there. He's 25 years old, about 6'3" maybe, pushing 6'4", athletic. He's actually lighter than a lot of heavyweights, so he might have a bit of a speed advantage. There's something to work with there, and I think that he needs to be stepped up now. The next one I want to cover is Frazer Clarke versus Kamil Sokolowski. Frazer Clarke won the fight. It was 6 rounds. He got 60-54 on the scorecards. And unlike David Adeleye, I'm not gonna lie. I was making plans, and I was kind of up to things, and I was trying to watch the fight, in between what I was getting up to. But I caught, I think, maybe the end of the second round, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. And unlike David Adeleye, it looked like Frazer Clarke actually was winning that fight against Kamil Sokolowski. However, it looked like to me that Frazer Clarke could have gone for it and got the knockout if he really wanted to. Maybe he is going to come out and say something different. I wasn't the one in there. So it looked to me like if Frazer Clarke really put his foot on the gas, he could have gone in there and got a stoppage against Kamil Sokolowski. But either way, it went to points. It's not a terrible thing to go to points as a prospect, because when you eventually step up and you are going to have to go rounds, then you've got those rounds under your belt. But it did look to me like Frazer Clarke maybe could have got a stoppage. Now, Kamil Sokolowski was having some success in there with his jab, and I think he caught Frazer Clarke with a couple left hooks, and he made Frazer Clarke miss a bit. Frustrated, Frazer Clarke was tying him up, albeit a bit excessively, but he was tying him up and breaking his momentum up. But I think that Frazer Clarke maybe should have. Frazer Clarke was actually on the back foot for a lot of the fight. Maybe Frazer Clarke was pushed his man back and really put some solid hooks together. I think he could have got the knockout, but again, I wasn't the one that was in there. So Frazer Clarke moves on. He was looking for a good opponent to face, and he got a solid opponent in there in Kamil Sokolowski. and that's obviously something that he was looking for, and he got it. So Frazer Clarke, I think, what's his record now? If I get out box rec, 4-0, something like that. Yeah, 4-0, 3 KOs. So maybe it's time to get him in there with someone like, again, like someone like Kevin Johnson, maybe someone like Kajanu, maybe someone like, I'm trying to think of who sort of like is a journeyman, but not like a journeyman that's just going to come and fall over. There's a few journeymen out there. Also, what about that Hernandez guy that fought Bacoli, he fought F.A. Jagba, and actually beat an unbeaten prospect in a surprise. Maybe get that journeyman in there with Frazer Clarke, because that guy will come to fight. But Frazer Clarke, I like what I see. There's things to like about Frazer Clarke. He's obviously a big solid unit. There's some power there. You know, he does the fundamentals and the basics well. So I like what I see. I like what I see with Frazer Clarke. Hopefully he's moved in the right way. Only thing I don't like about Frazer Clarke at the moment is his debut. He was 256 pounds, and in the last 3 fights he's been weighing in the 270s. Is that going to impact his work rate? Why has he done that? Did he feel weak in the 250s? I don't know. Only time will tell, but I don't know why he's done that, and maybe that is a bit of a concern. But you know, I'm not in the training camps. I'm just an outside observer. For me, maybe, you know, the 270s may be causing him to have some stamina issues, but you know, time will tell. There are things to like about Frazer Clarke, as there are with David Adeleye. You know, I hope both of them have the best success that they can. And that's all I'm going to cover for today. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. And I'll see you on the next video.